Hi, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is a podcast where I enjoy sharing my insights. And today I want to talk about how unthinkable it is to be unreachable. In our times, we have made it so easy to be accessible and available. And in that, it has perpetuated a nonsense idea that we are important, we are essential, we are indispensable, and we are needed. And this hero God complex leads to great emptiness, rushing around, and suffering. So I hope you'll hear what I have to say about the unthinkable, becoming unreachable. Stick around. If you're old enough to remember what it was like in the 70s or 80s, and you could imagine what it was like in the early 20th century, and you keep rewinding the clock, you will turn back technology. And this is not a knock on communications or technology, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand how unreachable people would have been in, say, the 18th century. Unless they lived in densely populated areas where they were living next door, they were living close to each other, I could see that happening. But it wouldn't be hard to kind of go off the grid, to be unavailable for weeks at a time, because one trip could take 2 weeks, maybe even a longer trip could take months, and you wouldn't hear from somebody, maybe a letter or a postcard. But people were, by and large, unavailable. So I believe they had more what I would call intimate time. Intimate time is so important to us. But that is often usurped for something called immediacy. And we are enslaved to the notion of being available. I've got to be available. Maybe I have to hear something, take care of something. Back in the day, if somebody was traveling and a relative died, they had to wait 2-3 weeks, maybe months before they even heard that somebody died or passed away. Didn't even get to attend the funeral. And I'm not saying one way or another is better. What I'm saying is that in this day and age, it seems unthinkable to be unreachable. But I'm here to tell you that there's a great deal of suffering and emptiness from that being available. And our devices have sneaky ways of notifying us. And if you work in an environment with email, you know just how hard it is to keep up with it. That you could spend your whole day answering emails. That's what happened to me. I was in college teaching, and I had no way of escaping that use of technology. That was the way we communicated. And being unreachable was unfathomable, even on a Sunday or a holiday. So nowadays, I would say to anybody who's struggling mentally, physically, spiritually, to sort of check in with private time, because nothing's sacred anymore. Nothing's holy. And what I mean holy, I'm not talking about the church, because the church is the last place you want to go to be holy. Too many noisy people with phones. This is about finding time to give yourself the intimacy of reality. Not even the bathroom is sacred anymore, because the phone goes into the bathroom, and so do all of the people. Your entire world goes with you everywhere. And when you do that, when you're reachable all the time, you give yourself away. You make other people's demands and needs your God. And anytime we enslave ourselves to anything like that, we die. We enslave ourselves to bank accounts, spouses, children, money in general, our goals. Anything that seems to have this invasive power over you. Alcohol is a very enslaving master. Cigarettes. These are all hidden ways of making you feel something has a power over you. And in many ways, it makes you feel more important, like you have a power over other people. Like these people need me. They couldn't possibly, parts of my life could not function on their own if I weren't there to meddle in them. But this is all accentuating a deep, deep sense of distrust in the individual. And being available to everyone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is a slave trade. It's a terrible way to put that. But the phone is a master deceiver. And the mind builds up this idea that I must be reachable. Imagine how unthinkable it would be to take a 4-week trip without a phone, or even just spend the day without one. I lived without a phone for 25 years. I had a landline. I could communicate. It seemed that everything was fine. It was okay to be off the grid, following a map, or just kind of stumbling as you go. Not being connected allowed you to have more sacred or private time, intimacy with reality. So this is what I want to encourage you to do, is to build in. Now we have to do something different. We have to build in unreachable moments. You have to go into your prayer closet, your sacred spaces, whatever, even the restroom, make it sacred. Just go in there and poop. Don't even read. When you're eating, make that a sacred, holy, unreachable time. I'm eating. I'm not going to be scrolling while I'm eating or talking with you while I'm eating. I need to nurture my body and let my taste buds have a go. If you really start paying attention to yourself through your senses, you will start enjoying your holy time. Driving with the radio off, showering just for showering's sake, taking a slow walk, just being in nature will reconnect you to the intimacy, not the immediacy. It's not immediate, it's intimate. There's a difference. It's a bonding experience. with yourself. And that's what enlivens your senses and your spirit, is bathing in these moments where you're not reachable. And I think the most important time is the morning. I'm unreachable in the morning. I'm living my life now where most of my day I'm gone. Nobody knows what I'm doing. And I like that anonymity. I love that privacy. I'm not a hermit. I'm showing up. But I'm also setting great boundaries for my intimate time, where I do my things and do them slowly, lovingly, and without disturbance. And I make these videos for you without disturbance. Of course, I do them for myself, which I've mentioned. And if you appreciate the uninterrupted, the awkward pauses, the impromptu nature of it, you're getting more intimate with reality. You're seeing how it unfolds in this improvisatory way. And when we allow for windows of unreachable time, more of that opens and opens and opens. And you're no longer a slave to thinking that you are responsible for the emotions and questions and deadlines that everybody else is setting for you. No. Not in the sovereign individual who understands their freedom. There are no deadlines. There are no enslaving responsibilities out there. I do not worship any amount of money or a question. A text does not have to be responded to immediately. It doesn't even have to be responded to. Just because you send a text doesn't mean a reply has to happen. So we can respect our sovereignty, our privacy, our intimacy, and we must set good boundaries so that we can live again. I know it seems unthinkable in this modern day to be unreachable, but think about the illusions and the delusions you're feeding into. You're necessary, you're indispensable, you're important. We've seen all those lies dispelled. When people die, their companies keep going, their families keep going, the world keeps going. It's almost as if they weren't even here. Yes, we leave contributions and we do great things, but the universe doesn't need you in that sense. God doesn't need you in that sense. The best thing you can do for yourself is to bond with the intimacy of reality, which is quiet, still, profound, and deep. And you can connect to that in small windows every day. Give yourself this luxury now, even if it's a minute or two. At least start with the bathroom. Meal times. And those windows will open up all sorts of interesting and immediate benefits. My name is Ryan Hebert. I hope you enjoyed these insights. Please check out my blog. It's called mymorningmotivator.com.